Hello and welcome to Talk Good Game. It's match preview of Chelsea against West Ham United. Gonzo, would you like to kick us off with your thoughts on the Blues, please?
Yeah, I think they're sort of levelling out now. I thought they caught everybody by surprise at the start of the season. And you know, a level of stability since the new manager went in there as well, which is the first one who was really ever able to find any form. I mean, they are a funny club, Chelsea. There's no doubt about it, and I do think their best days are behind them because they were able to spend money like it was going out of fashion under Abramovich. I don't think I've gone on the days when they're going to be, you know, European titles, league titles, that sort of thing. I think they'll still challenge. I don't think they'll drop to where they were, you know, before. It wasn't just Abramovich, to be fair. Matthew Harding gave him a good cash injection, but maybe, you know, at the point where Ken Bates took over, I don't think they'll drop back there. But I think, yeah, they are not going to be one of the top two clubs in the country anymore. That's just, you know, that's going to go. But I do think that they've got some stability. I still think they've got a really, really good model in terms of how they move players on, and they did generate money from homegrown talent. I did notice there was some reluctance from a lot of the Chelsea fans to get rid of Conor Gallagher, and I think there's some would suggest that he's gone on to do quite good things and they'd quite want him back. But the model itself of bringing in young players and then selling them on does give them an extra income stream. So that I think they're able to offset the money that they used to be able to spend under Abramovich, and probably because of that they've been able to transition into like FFP and PSR a lot better than some other clubs. So I think they're a healthy club. The owner is relatively switched on in terms of finding ways to generate funds and loopholes and stuff like that. So yeah, I think they're in a healthy place, albeit not one of the world's best clubs, like they, you know, not a top 5 world club like they might have been in the past.
Yeah, I think the problem is, while they've done well to bring players through and sell them, and it helps their books, I don't necessarily think it's the right decision for the football club. You know, they need a centre back at the minute. Well, they sold one that came through the academy, and he would walk into their starting 11 right now. Like you said, Conor Gallagher, would he get back into that midfield? I think he probably would. Yeah. So while they look at the academy players as money-making machines, I actually think in the last few years, I actually think they've possibly had the best academy. Yeah. Certainly Premier League football, I think they've had the best academy. But when you look at the Chelsea team, there's some players in there, but I don't feel like it's a strong enough core of Cobham, and I think it should be. I think you should look at that. I think academy player. Because when you look around the Premier League, the amount of Chelsea graduates that are playing Premier League football is a huge success. You know, you look at those that come through West Ham that don't make it, they go on to play League One football, Championship football. But Chelsea players that don't make it, Chelsea go and play Premier League football elsewhere and actually could get into the Chelsea team. So they're doing really well to develop these players. But instead of thinking, right, let's get them into the first team, and they have done on some occasions, but because of that poor spending in the past, they're forced to sell players like Conor Gallagher, where it's like, we don't necessarily want to sell him, but he's pure profit on the balance sheet, so we're going to have to offload him. And I think it's bad decision making at Chelsea has cost them this. And when it comes to the transfer windows now and in the summer, they obviously need a goalkeeper. But when I seen them getting linked to players in this window, I think just stop. You're all right this season. Your squad's doing well. Maresca's doing well. You might get Champions League football. If you bring someone in now, what are you going to be trying to achieve? Champions League football, you're possibly going to do anyway. Stop wasting money. Get your money sorted out. You've obviously got, you know, you've just spent a load of money on Mudryk, who can't play now because of drug testing reasons and whatnot. You said stability. I think there's still more stability to come at Chelsea, more stability required. So actually these young players that they are bringing through can then get in their first team and stay in their first team because they're under no pressure to move them on. But otherwise what's going to happen is come the summer, or in future, there'll be another young Chelsea will be like, okay, we're going to have to sell another academy player. It'll be someone that's good enough for the starting 11. They're going to have to move them on and replace them with someone not as good because of PSR. And it almost feels like it's not always footballing decisions that's in charge of the transfers at Chelsea. Sometimes it feels like it's almost an accountant decision. And I think that's wrong to some extent. And I think it's a shame, to be honest with you, having that academy, but not really seeing fruition. But they've got Enzo at the club now, in the dugout as well as on the pitch. But Maresca, what have you made of him?
Yeah, I think he's done. I think he's done well. I think what he's done well more than anything is stabilise the club. I think he's brought a steady hand. I think he's brought an identity. I don't think it is the maybe the most complex football. He's got them. He's got them playing in a certain way. He's got tunes out of players who previously weren't performing. And I think I don't know how much it's happened. Certainly, you hear from him that he wants to slim down the bloated squad. Certainly, because Graham Potter's joined West Ham, I've listened to a lot of interviews with Potter where I don't mean that he's recorded now, but historical ones where he was talking about quite how bloated everything was at Cobham. So I think they've got somebody. It's not just about the tactics. I think the tactics are right. I think it caught everyone by surprise at the start of the season with the tactics. I think maybe the league is sort of sussing it out to an extent. I still think they'll get wins and they'll do well. But I think probably one of the biggest impacts has been what he's brought to the infrastructure of the club and just how he's basically streamlined them a little bit. They needed a figurehead, really. I was very interested in listening to what Potter had said about how disconnected everybody was, Todd Bowley and whatnot, in the States. And so I think you needed somebody strong to come in and really grab it by the scruff of the neck and start saying, in many respects, actually, if you think about it, like Mikel Arteta did when he came, it was Ozil and somebody else was maybe a bit of a trouble. That was it.
Lacazette stuck around a bit longer, but Aubameyang was one that Arteta sort of.
Yeah, he just sort of came in and he imposed his personality on it. Said, right, he could go. This is how I'm going to play. He's not going to fit into it. He's not going to fit into it. This is my team. Anyone outside of it, I'm probably not going to bring him into the group. So I think that, as much as anything else, has probably really helped Chelsea.
Yeah, I completely agree. I didn't know loads about him. I did, because he was at West Ham and then at Leicester City. He was hardly a manager you never heard of. But in regards to watching Leicester under Maresca, it wasn't really something I did, truth be told. And I felt like when he went at Fenton, my opinion of him, I was a bit surprised by the appointment, because obviously he won the league with Leicester, but there was a lot of criticism from Leicester fans towards Maresca at times in the Championship over the style of football. And when Chelsea got him, I thought, okay, we'll wait and see. And I was very impressed with him immediately because, like you said, start the season in fantastic form, so much so that every week he was fielding questions, are you in a title race? And he kept saying no. He was the one saying back off. And I guess it was a fair enough question, but it was almost every week. Are you in a title race? They were waiting for him to say yes, because there you go. Now you said, but he always kept pushing back, saying, no. There's a lot of work to do. There's a long way to go. And I think he's been proven correct to some extent. Like you said, they've dropped off a little bit, but in the running for Champions League football, will they get it? Because I would imagine that's their aim between now and the end of the season. They're sitting sixth in the Premier League at the minute, a point behind Newcastle and Man City. Assuming fifth is Champions League, because it's incredibly likely. What are you saying?
I think no. I think no. But it's tight. I wouldn't put a penny on it, because I think they quite easily could. I think my gut says no. I think they're a more cohesive unit, and I do think there's an element of that counter-attacking style. The top clubs often, you probably need another layer. He might be adding that in, but you often see they've got a little bit of something else as well. Certainly, look at Liverpool; they can do that, or they'll keep possession and they'll pick you open as well. So they'll go long ball with no problem, but they'll also go tippy tappy if you want. So maybe there's a little bit of that. But look, fifth place, they can easily get it. They can easily get it. But if you're pinning me down, I think they'll probably be where they are right now.
I'm gonna say no as well. I think they'll finish 6th, 7th, one of those two positions. And the reason being is, I think teams are sussing out Cole Palmer a little bit. I feel like the impact he's having on games isn't as much as it was previously, and I don't think the wide players are up to scratch. It's a bit like you get the feeling you stop Palmer, you stop Chelsea to some extent. Madueke, Sancho, Neto, good players, but they're just not on the level that Cole Palmer is at Chelsea. They don't bring that goal threat. Now watch us get beat 2-0 and Neto and Madueke both set each other up for a goal. But that's my honest opinion. You know, Jackson's goals have dried up a little bit, and you know, Nkunku hasn't really been given a run in the team, so the goal scorers stopped scoring. I feel like teams are stopping Palmer, and this is the question to Maresca. Well, what are you going to do about it? Can you come up with a solution? And their form is 1 win in 7. It would suggest, well, not really. Actually, I'm hoping that the win was against Wolves, if I'm not mistaken. Everyone beats Wolves. We beat Wolves with Lopetegui, you know. So it's not the best run of form they're in at the minute. So I'm going to say no. They just feel a little bit, I don't know, flaky at the minute. Put it this way, recently we've played Man City, banger form. We've played Liverpool, even Aston Villa, and I feared those more than I fear Chelsea at the minute. And there is an element of Graham Potter in that, of course, that my confidence in West Ham is increasing. Player availability is a bit helpful for this one. But there is also the opposition where I'm bringing into it. And actually, I would include Fulham. I was fearing the Fulham game more than this game, truth be told. It might just be the excitement around Potter, but I think there's an element of Chelsea too. Before I ask you for the players you admire about from Chelsea, Gonzo, just want to point our lovely subscribers into the direction of this video's sponsors, which is Stocks FC. Now, Stocks FC is a platform where you can purchase stocks in your favourite players, and the aim of the game is that they perform on the pitch and you benefit off it. There's a team of the week, there's a team of the month, and a team of the season. And if your player makes those teams, dividends are paid out, and you will win real money being rewarded for having stocks in those players. Now, to get you started, so you can have a little try, a little look and see how it all works, work out the scoring matrix, we have an offer for you here on Hamish Chat, and we're giving you 5 players on loan for 1 month for free. You do not need to deposit any money in order to obtain those 5 players. You sign up, and as soon as you sign up, you get given your 5 players immediately, and then you have them for a month, and you can see how they get on and get used to the platform as well. Ahmad is currently up for grabs, so they release players usually one by one, and they give you enough notice as to when each player is getting released as well, which players are coming up. Currently, they've got Ahmad has been released. He's got 2 days left, but there's a limited amount of stocks on Ahmad. Any stocks that aren't sold on Ahmad get destroyed. There's not an unlimited amount of stocks on any player on Stocks FC. So the only way you can then obtain stocks in Ahmad in future is through other users on the platform. So you want Ahmad in your team, you've got to go get him in the next couple of days while he's at the base price. Links in description below. QR code is on the screen. Scan it, click it, sign up, get your 5 players on loan, have a look around and see what you fancy. The last player myself and Gonzo both purchased stocks in was Wissa of Brentford. We're going to show you how we get on over the course of the season and who we're making hopefully a profit on, and also who we're making a loss on. We're going to be transparent about it, show you our portfolios, but Wissa is someone that we've got and he's yet to play a game. But we're hoping with Brentford playing Spurs, he's going to have a fantastic weekend and we're going to benefit in more than one way. Stocks and just laughing at Spurs. Gonzo, players you admire from Chelsea?
A Colwell, a good player, really good player.
Shaky form.
Yeah, good player though. Good player. The points possibly might be the one reason why Kilman doesn't get into that England squad. I think, but Gahey was playing over. Funny, there's another one, isn't it? Another Chelsea player.
That's who I was referring to, the centre back.
Nice. Up there for thinking, down there for dancing.
Testing the subscribers' knowledge.
Yeah. They got some decent enough players. They really do. I do like Cole Palmer. I do think he's very, very good. The trouble is when you are like him, what the thing that makes the real difference with players like that is, as you correctly point out, is other really high standard players around them, or that extra yard of pace that's just going to allow you to do your stuff and then negate what the opposition are doing. It doesn't quite have that. And but I think he's a magnificent player, an absolutely magnificent player, and the sort of player you want to watch play football as well. I noticed Reece James was back, which is interesting, isn't it? I think he's he didn't create a goal the other day or something. He might have even. I was listening to the radio. I don't know if they got chalked off. I heard that he scored. Or something.
He took a shot
Mm.
and it landed at the feet of Tossin, who then scored.
Yeah. Funny enough, there's another good player. I really wish we'd have signed him. Actually, but obviously he's out at the moment, isn't he? I think. And Chalobah, they brought Chalobah back from Palace, so it's a bit of a mishmash. Funny enough, you now got me thinking. Old Lewis Hall at Newcastle. Yeah, he was Chelsea, wasn't he?
Yeah, and another player we like. He's not been as good recently. Turns into Messi 3-4 times a season. Tariq Lamptey.
Yeah, that's right. Blimey, they're
Livramento.
Yeah, they've got rid of some players. The other guy I like is Caicedo. I'm not sure how you say it. Really, really good player. And I feel that just to go back to the Maresca, I think he has brought the best out of him. I don't think they saw what they pay 105 million or something like that. I don't think they saw anything like it. But this season, you're looking at the sort of player that you saw at Brighton. So yeah, they got plenty of good players.
Yeah, Caicedo and Cucurella are two players I think Maresca's really turned into brilliant players, and there was evidence, especially with Caicedo, that he was a really good central midfielder, but he was just poor under Pochettino. Then when he left, he was the one that basically said, "This, I didn't get any tactics under. I've got criticised, and the manager didn't give me any tactics. I had to go out there and run around basically." Yeah. And I think when you're going to talk, you better walk, and he's done it. He basically said the reason I was crap is because of Pochettino, and that was at the start of the season. So it's a case of, well, go on then, show us. And he has. He's been one of the better centre midfielders in the Premier League this season, and I think it's proved his point, which is Pochettino was crap. Cucurella, I always thought he was a bit of a meme, a bit of a joke at Chelsea when he first went. He was excellent at Brighton. He went to Chelsea. I thought he was crap, to be honest with you, but incredible at the Euros for Spain. And it was like watching a different player, but he's continued that form into this season under Maresca. And I think it would only be fair to give him the benefit of the doubt and use the reasons that Caicedo has offered up in defence of Cucurella as well. And the last player I'm going to add is, we all have opinions on players, and it's I will die on this hill kind of opinion. And mine is Nicholas Jackson's a top striker. I think he's fantastic. I really do. And was a bit of a jokey striker. He had that really good form at the start of the season, and he's tailed off again. But I still think people forget how young he is, because it feels like he's been around a while. I think he's 22, 23 years old. I think he's a top player. He's not the finished article, but I still think he's got another couple of levels to go. And I wouldn't be surprised if, give him a couple of seasons, he's hitting 15, 20 league goals a season. His runs are brilliant. His work rate's fantastic. The only thing lacking is that composure in front of goal sometimes, but you can teach that. I'm so adamant that if you can get a striker that does everything right, but the finishing is a bit letting them down, you can work on that and you can improve that. And I think if he does that, I think he will be an elite striker. So there you go. No one will change my mind. If someone says Nicholas Jackson's crap, I'll tell you why. Be my guest. You will not persuade me or change my opinion on him. I'm dying on the hill of Nicholas Jackson. Moving on to West Ham then. Are you ready for some team news? There's quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there is.
Right then, Mavropanos is back. He was suspended for our game against Aston Villa. He is available for selection. Somerville is not back. We thought he might be back for last week. He was a doubt for last week, and he's been ruled out for this week, apparently. Todibo is a no-go. Fulkrug and Antonio are obviously no-goes. And we've got no new signing to feature on Monday night either. And there's a doubt over Lucas Paqueta. However, Potter suggested he was going to begin training at the end of the week. And Jarrod Bowen's been in training. So for the sake of the preview, we've already agreed that we will include Lucas Paqueta and Jarrod Bowen, but we will not include Somerville Todibo because we don't think they'll be available. Hopefully, Potter's played a bit of a blinder and Somerville's available, but we shall wait and see. So, Gonzo, with all that said and done, could I get you the goalkeeper you would like to see as well as the defenders you would like to see?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with the formation, which seems to be what Potter wants to do, because I think we've already seen that even when he doesn't have the players to play this formation, he's going to bloody play it anyway. So it's pointless me doing a 4-2-3-1 or whatever, because it's just not going to be what happens. So I'll try and fit into sort of his system or a version of it at least. Areola in goal. I'm gonna bring Mavropanos back into the team, and I will justify myself by that.
I think you might have to.
I think you're right. He does make me nervous, like everybody else, and he does make mistakes. So it's not I haven't seen the mistakes, but they have got pace to burn. We're not going to be offering up the kind of pace. If Chelsea fans are going to think, really, we're playing West Ham again, that was horrendous. I was... I took someone there to their first West Ham game. Bloody hell. That was not good. We're not going to be doing that again. That was absolute carnage. So I think with that in mind, I do believe that given pretty much 2 weeks, he was suspended, 2 weeks, solid weeks on the training pitch with Mavropanos. I think I can't think Potter can weave his magic with everybody, but Mavropanos he can't. I don't think that. I think he would have worked with him. I think positionally he'd be better. I think he's faster, and they got pace to burn. And I would rather see him in a foot race than Soufal, which is why I'm playing him there. So for pace, and I suspect Potter would have improved him. So we'll see less mistakes. He's not got limited. He's not. If he's a cat with 9 lives, he's been run over 8 times. So he's not got loads more chances. If he carries on making mistakes, you would have to sell him. There's no doubt about it. But I would like to think everybody is afforded the chance under a new coach. I think Mavropanos will be. And so I'll bring him back for that. I'll play Kilman in the middle. And I'm actually going to play Cresswell at left centre-back again for this. So he would be the one I would retain.
To back up your Mavropanos shout, I will add, he was good against Palace until he got sent off. I do think he was having a decent game, and we've seen this before where he plays well for 80 minutes and does something stupid, pretend to go, and you think, what's going on? But that was the 3rd game under Graham Potter, so you could suggest there is a bit of evidence that Mavropanos was improving or has improved under Potter. It's just he got sent off, which, by the way, I have seen other players do something similar for that yellow card offence since then and not get booked for it. So it's thoroughly frustrating watching it. I had no grievances with him getting sent off, by the way. I have grievances with other players not being booked for a similar offence. Areola, Cresswell, and Kilman, I'm picking 2. The only reason I'm picking Areola is because I'm still not harsh about goalkeeper. I've already decided we need a new goalkeeper. Between now and then, do what you want. Does he want to have a look at Areola and decide he's got a future at West Ham, or does he want to sell him? Fine. But at the same time, if you think you're maybe going to give Fabianski a new contract and sell Areola, then bring in a new goalkeeper, then play Fabianski, do whatever he wants to do with an eye on next season. But Areola, Cresswell, Kilman, I'm going to say Casey. And the reason being is just for the reasons I said last week. I want to see him given an opportunity. And I understand he probably won't, but this is what I want to see, not what I think will happen. And I just can't trust Mavropanos. So I hope if he does I think he will start, and I hope he has a good game. But I think he's more likely to make a mistake. And as we've already established, Chelsea have got an elite striker in the making up against him. Moving into, let's just call it our 4 across midfield, shall we, with the wing backs. I think we might match, but what you got?
I got Wan-Bissaka, Souček, Alvarez, and Emerson. Emerson deserves the start, and you know I've got nothing but praise for Ollie Scholes, and I could actually argue what Potter's doing is working with him. He's improving. So this introducing him from the bench, he seems to be he's playing every game. That's massive.
He's a guaranteed sub, isn't he? Like if he's on the bench, he's guaranteed to come on now with 20, 30 minutes. It's not a cameo role. It's a substantial amount of minutes.
Yeah, see out that, as you say, see out the last bit. It's good to have a youngster playing every game, and that will only improve and that will only increase. And you know, maybe just maybe if Emerson hadn't scored that goal, maybe there would be more of a shout for Scholes to start. But Scholes was brilliant when he came on. But after Potter did his switch, which the fullback spoke about pushing on a bit, both Wan-Bissaka and Emerson, then we did see that lovely pullback from Emerson, which, might have been a goal on another day as well. He got into a really good position for a cross as well. So, yeah, he deserves another bite of the cherry, certainly. And there's no reason. He's clearly not got the fitness to play 90 minutes at the intensity that Potter wants him to. So, yeah, we've basically got 2 players for that position who will share responsibility throughout the game.
Wan-Bissaka, Alvarez, Souček and Scarles for me. It's a bit harsh dropping Emerson after a goal, but I think he was okay. Take his goal away. I think it maybe masked his performance a little bit. Not that he was bad, but I think he was average with a goal. And I think Scarles come on and looked brilliant. He looked really good. And I just want to see more of him. I think he deserves a start, to be honest with you. His performance at Villa Park the first time round. Since then, he's come off the bench and looked good in those appearances as well. And for that reason, I want to see him get an opportunity and start against Chelsea. So that'd be my 4. Then I think we're probably going to have the same 3 up front then. Kudus, Paqueta and Bowen?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It means we're both dropping Soler.
Do you have a preference to a striker out the 3?
Not really. Actually, not really. I think as long as he can join, I mean, I quite like some of Paqueta's hold-up play, and he seemed good with his back to goal as well. And I think there's a solution there. I do think there's a little solution there, and I think it probably allows Bowen to play, probably more of a role that he's more familiar and comfortable with. I think what is really important is that we don't. I just don't. In fact, it's not even going to. It's not even worth it. It's not going to happen. I'll say it anyway because it was in my mind. It's important that we don't see Kudus pushed really far out wide left, but we're not in this system. So as long as Kudus is in a position where he can travel with the ball well, whereas he can get close to Paqueta and where he can let off that fearsome left-footed shot, which I would like to see more of. To be fair, then I think we're absolutely fine. I think as a 3. That is troublesome for most teams. That is not an easy 3 to defend against, and I think if you're instructing possibly central defenders or whoever it is, I think it's probably a bit of a nightmare to mark. I wouldn't know what to say. I wouldn't know how you're going to instruct. If you've got 2 centre backs or 3, how are you going to who's picking up who? It's really hard, I think, to look at West Ham and what you're going to do with Paqueta. You're going to follow him, or you're going to stay in your position and hold your line. You can have these players making Bowen and Kudus making these runs from funny angles and stuff like that. What are you going to do? You're going to follow them? What are you going to hold your line? You're going to be positionally going to stay there? Which means you're going to leave someone free if you don't follow them. I think there's enough questions in that front line. I like it. Actually, I like it. So yeah, but I don't mind. I don't mind what they do. I think it'll be troublesome whatever he wants to do.
I would. If I was Maresca, I'd be telling probably Madueke to go play next to Palmer a little bit and just leave Reece James to have Emerson, and that way your central midfielders can pick up West Ham's number 10s, and then Palmer and Madueke can pick up our central midfielders. That's what I would counter it. I would like to see Bowen in that right-sided number 10 role. I'm really excited. Leave Paqueta as the false 9, I guess, would be the official terminology to describe his position. I thought he had a really good game against Villa. Keep him there. Put Kudus to the left of the number 10s. But I'm prioritising Jarrod Bowen out of the 3 here, which is how do we get the best out of him? Because he is still our most creative player, the one that's most likely to get an assist, and he's also the one that's most likely to score. So if you can get Jarrod Bowen in form, you've got a damn good chance of getting something on Monday night. And I think that right-sided number 10 role, I'm excited to see him actually, because we've yet to see Bowen under Graham Potter, and I think him in that position that we've seen Kudus popping up in, I think he'd be bloody good. I really do. Because Bowen's quite good at picking up pockets of space in between the midfield and defence at times. Come away 5 yards away from defence, get the ball, face the defence, and then you can go one-on-one with your defenders. Because I think it's underrated how good he is at taking on fullbacks, going down the line or cutting in. He's happy to do either. So I'm buzzing with Bowen back, actually. I'm really looking forward to seeing him on Monday night. Are you feeling optimistic, Gonzo?
I don't like your question.
Are you feeling juicy, Gonzo?
I will go with fruity. Yeah, I am.
Why did I say juicy?
I don't know why I'm not
Must be
juicy at
thirsty.
all. No, nothing juice. It's no juice.
I'll do better. I'll endeavour to do better for the next preview.
Thank you. Yeah, there's plenty of fruit though. It's just not been squished. I am feeling particularly fruity for this one. Actually, I totally agree with everything you said about Bowen, and I do think that Bowen and Obi-Wan-Bissaka are going to cause nightmares down that side. If Cucurella's there, he's not going to know whether he's coming or going. And if Sancho plays, well, we'll see. Is he going to come back and help him out? I wouldn't. Yeah, I've always thought whenever we've been linked to him,
I wouldn't trust him to come back and help an old person across the road. To be
no, I
honest,
wouldn't. And even if he would, the old person would still be quicker, right? And this is the issue with him. So I think we may well cause them problems there, and they can drop midfielders back and do what they want to cover these people. I still think it's going to cause problems. That's going to create space elsewhere. We got a situation where Potter. Somebody said the other day Potter's got nothing to prove. Of course he has, and he's going to want to prove it. This is, he might not have anything to prove to West Ham fans. He might have anything to prove to Brighton fans. He's got something to prove to Chelsea fans, and he'll want to do it. He would never say it. He seems like too nice a guy. But why would you not? Why would that not be in anyone's psyche that you would not, in the back of your mind, think, I want to show them that they shouldn't have sacked me? I would expect anyone that's driven in any way, shape, or form to do that.
Flip it round, and those that say that, do you think Moyes has nothing to prove when we play Everton later on this season? Because you can't have it both ways. I tell you what, Moyes will have everything to prove, and I think Potter's got everything to prove as well. He'll be rocking up there wanting a win. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be no surprises with him. He'll still have, well, I know, in fact, he has got people on the inside in Chelsea. Still some of his team are in there, that he brought in there. So even though they've changed manager and they've changed tack, he'll know what they're doing. He'll have more of an inside line into them than they've got into us. I'd imagine that's certainly the case. And obviously there's a bit of, sort of repair work to be done on what was, I don't know whether you want to say it was our worst performance of the season. It was nasty stuff, though. It was nasty. We were so bad. It was just horrendous, really. We really gifted them a lot of stuff at a time when they were really hitting stride and quite swashbuckling themselves. The last thing we needed to do against a tough Chelsea side was wave them through, which is what we did. So, yeah, I think there's a lot. There's a lot riding on this. I think we'll have a highly motivated team. All the players are all interviewing really well and letting little nuggets of information slip through, which I think is really nice. He's growing in confidence by the day, Potter. Well, every time I see him in a press conference, he seems to be more confident, more cocky. Not in a bad way. He seems like a very polite, very nice man. But there's a lot. There's something quiet. I do feel there's something quietly building at West Ham at the moment, and I am really looking forward to this one. It's just a shame it's on a Monday night, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's the happiest person I've seen in a trackie recently since someone on a BMX with a Burberry cap and some Mad Dog. But I don't know.
That's good. It worked. Where's he going? Where's he going with this?
That was about it, really. It was just off the back of your comment.
I had a scouser in my mind in a shell suit with curly hair and a moustache. Sorry, no, bit of a stereotype. There you go. Sorry to any scousers.
I don't want to go down that road. That's why that's generic.
Yeah, hey, you've gone for the alcoholic route on the BMX. Yes, yeah.
I played it safe. I don't think Potter will, though. I think he'll want to win this game. Rocking up at Stamford Bridge, get 3 points, and we can do it. Look, they're 1-7. Park West Ham to the side a minute. That is not a great looking form table for Chelsea. They'll be expected to win. The pressure's on them going into this one, not on us. But I don't know. There's a feel good factor around West Ham at the minute, and our form's not too bad if you start to. If you cut the legs off of Lopetegui's part and look at the league, Potter's come in, we beat Fulham. We got beat by Crystal Palace, but then we've gone and drew away to Aston Villa. That's not too shabby. 4 points from those 3 games was all right for a start, considering the hand he's been dealt with.
Yeah.
But he's got Jarrod Bowen back now. He's got his ace card, and that's significant. We are, as much as Chelsea can be a little bit Cole Palmer FC, we can be a little bit Jarrod Bowen FC. Well, we've got him back now, and I think when we played Aston Villa, we were just lacking someone like Jarrod Bowen. I think we were lacking a striker per se, but I think if you had Bowen instead of Solar, I think we win that game. And for that reason, I'm feeling quite optimistic, actually. I'm feeling 3 points. I normally don't like playing on deadline day. I still think it's a bad idea. I think it should be a rule that nobody has to play on deadline day. It severely gives you a disadvantage playing. But I don't really care. But to sum up how I'm feeling ahead of this game, usually I love deadline day. Usually it's not quite the same as it was. There's no sex toys and reporters' ears on training grounds anymore. But
was the shame.
Yeah, those days have passed. There's now chavs on BMXs, but I used to love deadline day. I'm looking forward to the game more than the actual deadline day on Monday, and that's the way it should be. But if Lopetegui was here, I think I'd be looking forward to deadline day more often. Anyway, Gonzo, any final words and your all-important score prediction, please?
Yeah, I'm already composing in my mind someone typing on a phone to you saying, Gio, if you think we were going to sign anyone on deadline day, you're deluded anyway. So, it didn't matter that West Ham are playing on.
I like it for non-West Ham reasons. I do like it for West Ham reasons, but I also like it for entertainment purposes. I've been duped. That's what Sky Sports made it a thing, didn't they? It never really used to be like a day-long event, but they turned it into one. And it's not as big an event as it used to be, but I like it for all the chaos. I like Odin Wingy in car parks demanding a move. Yes. I like Diafra Sacco, but even though it pissed me off at the time, looking back, it was quite funny. Diafra Sacco booked himself for a medical at a French club, even though we had no intention of selling him, got told to come back and stopped off at Chelmsford Racecourse on the way back because his agent had a horse running. It's fun.
And who couldn't possibly enjoy a smackhead being stood behind Tony and Chenzo waving some anal beads? If that's not Sky Sports, I don't know what is. For this game, I think if Paqueta and Bowen both start, we win. So I'm going with that. If we also have Somerville on the bench, then they got no chance. I am. I think I've not predicted a win for a while, actually. So there you go. I think we're going to win at their place. Oh, crowd to get nervous. Early goal for West Ham, by the way. Early goal for West Ham. Dinos scores. I don't know about that. I'm not confident about that bit. 2-0.
I went with 3-1.
Yeah, well, I could see through it. That was in my mind.
I went with 3-1. I'm going to say 1-0 West Ham. I think I just feel like Chelsea are lacking a little bit of creativity at the minute. I think Potter will know that if he can keep that defence tight against us slot, we've got a chance. And like you said, it might be that Bowen starts on the bench, but on the assumption that Bowen starts alongside Paqueta, like if Somerville's on the bench, that would be extra fruity. I'll enjoy the build-up.
Some might say.
So there you go. 2 predictions, 2 wins for West Ham. Get involved in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Let us know the 11 you want to see, not what you think Potter will do. The 11 you want to see, how you see the game going. And also do remember to grab your 5 players for free on loan for 1 month from Stocks FC. QR codes on the screen. Links in the description below. Myself and Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.